Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, January 24th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. We're joined today again by Ashton Campanelli. Ashton, how are we doing today?
Doing great, doing great.
Glad to hear it. We're going to talk about NFL, NFC, and AFC championship games today. We're also going to talk a little bit about college football and the Warriors at the end. But just some housekeeping. We got to go over the Warrior or the Sharks game rather from last night. Sharks beat the New York Rangers at home. This is our last home game for like a month, or I believe, because of the Olympics and the road schedules that we have coming up. But anyway, the Sharks won this game 3-1. All goals in this game from both teams were scored in the first period. Celebrini had two of them. Regenda had the other. And after that, after the Sharks, scored three goals within 5 minutes, it really settled down from there. In the future, you'd like to see us be more aggressive and, getting some more opportunities on the net. But the second and third period was really about Alex Nedeljkovic, who was fantastic again. I think he's won his last five games or something like that. 28 for 29 on saves. Great job from Ned, and the defense was good again last night too. The Warriors were supposed to play tonight. That game got postponed because of, I think it was a shooting in Minneapolis, which is very unfortunate. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that situation, and we'll be praying for all those people involved. But as of right now, the game is supposed to be tomorrow at 2:30, and then we'll play the Timberwolves the next day, so Sunday and Monday in Minnesota, those two games. So we'll talk about the Warriors at the end, but let's get into these two huge playoff games that we have going on tomorrow. So let's talk about it. The first one, the Patriots at the Broncos. Ashton, when you think of this game, what's the first thing that you think of when you hear Patriots Broncos?
It's defense, 100% defense, especially with Stidham at quarterback. That Broncos defense gonna have to look like that Texans defense before they're eliminated to have any chance. But I guess I really don't know. I haven't seen Stidham play. Last time I watched him play was against the Niners on New Year's a couple years ago, and he shredded us, and we
Mhm.
went to overtime. And that team ended up going to the Super Bowl. So maybe he's not as bad as people think, but first time starting in 3 years in an AFC Championship game, a lot of pressure. But it's up to the defense.
So there are 2 points that we can kind of dive into deeper. We'll start with the defensive part, and then we'll get to Stidham eventually, which is a big story as well in this game. Um, who do you think is the better defense? Do you think it's Denver or New England?
It's Denver. Led the league in sacks. Pat Surtain. They got Ufanga and Greenline, the two Niner boys out there. It's a great defense. So Patriots are good too, but Broncos are probably second best in the league behind Houston.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely not, lacking on the defensive side of the ball. They have playmakers, both teams do, on the defensive side of the ball. But I would agree that the Broncos defense is probably better. But Patriots defense is definitely up there. And on that note, I think a lot of people are counting the Broncos out, but I don't think it it would be a little much to just say that this game is over before it even begins. I mean, the Broncos definitely have a chance, and I think if they're going to have a chance, it's going to have to be a defensive game. Because if that defense, which is very good, can hold Drake May and the Patriots offense to a minimal amount of points, obviously it gives the Denver offense a better chance. It gives Denver a better chance. Um, See, I agree. I think the Denver defense is probably better, and if the Broncos are going to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to lean on that defense, and the defense is honestly going to have to make a couple plays, kind of like the Patriots defense was doing against the Texans, where they scored a touchdown, a pick six. The Broncos might need to do something like that if they're going to have an advantage in this game. Turnovers would definitely be big, but this Broncos defense, although they're very good, they're not very good at taking the ball away, at least in the regular season. Of course, they had five against Josh Allen, the Bills. But takeaways could be a big part of this game, especially with two inexperienced quarterbacks in there. Um, and then on the flip side of that, the Patriots are definitely favored in the offensive game, considering that they have Drake May and the Broncos are starting Jared Stidham. So for Jared Stidham, though, this is a big topic of discussion, filling in his first start in 3 years. Here in the AFC Championship game, he's been in Denver for the last 3 years, I believe. He's been learning the system. What are your thoughts on Jared Stidham? How do you think he's going to play tomorrow?
Um, I have no idea. I haven't watched them play, but the way the Broncos run their offense, they like to run the ball. They take their shots. They're not a crazy complex offense. I think if they're able to run the ball and Stidham can make decisions, not make stupid decisions, throw the ball in right places, their defense should be able to hold. I don't think Drake May. I know he's great, second in MVP, but I don't know if he's going to go out there on the road in the AFC Championship and ball out. It's pretty much his first time ever being here. It is his first time ever being here. So I think if the defense can hold Drake May to under 17, all Stidham has to do is play Broncos football. They run the ball. He makes his easy throws, scores a couple, maybe 2 touchdowns. Who knows? I think they got a shot.
Yeah. Um, I agree with that. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. The last time we saw Jared Stidham, or the only time we've seen Jared Stidham, is against the 49ers. The last year with D'Amico Ryans as the DC, and what a defense that was. You could argue that was our best defense in the Shanahan era. We've had a lot of them, and he carved us up. In overtime, he did throw an interception that allowed us to kick the game winner. But for the most part, for the first 4 quarters, he was outstanding. He was airing it out. He threw for over 300 yards. He was going back and forth with the rookie Brock Purdy. They were having a duel out there. Um, and I said it this week. I'm going to say it again. I think Jared Stidham has what it takes to execute the offense and do a good job, but I just don't think it's going to be a great job. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Um, I don't doubt that he's not a good quarterback. I think he is a good quarterback. He has potential to play well, and I think he will play well, just not well enough. Um, and I'm not sure what well enough would need to be. If it's a defensive game, obviously less points would need to be scored. But I don't know. What do you think well enough would be if he plays well enough to get the win? What do you think that looks like?
I'd say don't not turn the ball over. Don't put New England in plus territory. There's going to be I think it's going to be defensive because the Broncos defense is going to need to show out to have a chance. So if he can just be smart, you don't have to score a lot of points. Just don't turn the ball over. Don't do what C.J. Stroud did last week.
Mm-hmm.
4 interceptions. Don't do that. If you can just limit to maybe 1 turnover, like I feel like that's enough to win the game. I don't think they have to score some crazy amount of points to win this one.
Yeah, I don't think he should have the mindset going out there trying to play hero ball. Because we've seen, that hasn't really worked in the playoffs at least. I mean, I can't, has there been a quarterback who's like put the team on his back to win a football game in this playoffs? I mean, maybe Josh Allen against the Jaguars, has,
Yeah, Allen against the Jags, but other than
but
that,
even
no.
still, that was
Allen
kind
was
of
trying.
close.
Allen was
Um,
trying last week and threw 4 picks or 3 picks, whatever he had. So
I mean, I'm sure we've seen Caleb do that a couple points in time this playoffs, but we haven't really seen a legendary, you know, put it on the line for your brothers type performance from a quarterback here in this postseason. And I don't think either quarterback will have to do that. I think, especially because they're both young and experienced, they've never been here on this stage before. Clean football is definitely going to be a key, especially with how good those defenses are. Don't make it easier for them by trying to force stuff and not taking the easy, check downs and making the easy play, making the smart play. Don't make it easier for that defense who's already elite. Um, don't make it easier for them to stop you, I guess would be the key there. I agree with that. I think it's going to be big. Um, is there any other part of this game that you find interesting that you think can make a difference?
uh I mean, I've been seeing that they've been talking a lot. The team's been talking a lot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw Keyshawn Booty was talking on the defense, and I think Riley Moss was saying they're gonna come on me all the time, and I'm ready for it. So I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, should be probably be Booty on Moss, I would think, as a matchup.
Yeah, because you had Diggs and Sertan, which is also a
Yeah,
very, very exciting matchup. Those are, probably the best corner in the league and one of the best wide receivers, even if he is a little bit older. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the trash talk. It makes the game more exciting. Um, so with that information, maybe you can expect both teams, both defenses especially, to come out firing, hitting hard. I mean, we know who the Broncos have on their side. They have Greenlaw and Hufanga, who are two of the hardest hitters we've ever seen on the Niners. And we've had some hard hitters in the Niners. A lot, Willis, Bowman, Warner, all them. Um, so you could expect both defenses to fly around. And I expect both defenses to. I think the line of scrimmage can also be important in this game, trying to run the ball, make it easier for your young quarterbacks. Um, but the Broncos are still starting their backup, and the Patriots have a potential MVP candidate. So, with that being said, even if it is a closer game, I still have the Patriots winning. I just think they're too good for the Broncos to be able to overcome, given um, their limitations with injuries and all that stuff, especially at the quarterback position. How do you think this game's going to go?
Uh, all week leading up, they were talking about J.K. Dobbins' return,
Oh
and he was
yeah, is
ruled
he
out
going to
yesterday.
return?
He's out,
Oh,
and I think running the ball is going to be huge, especially for the Broncos. And not having Dobbins and Harvey, he's a great receiving back. He's not as great as a running back. At least what I watched this year. So if they're not gonna be able to run the ball insanely, I think I think Houston's gonna win this game.
I mean Denver or New England?
Not New England, my bad. New England. I keep talking about Houston. New England, my
Yeah.
bad.
So New England has, in the first round, the wild card held the Chargers to 87 rushing yards, and they have some good backs. And then they held the Texans to 48 rushing yards. The game after Woody Marks ran for over 100. So the Texans, or not, man, you got me doing it too. Um, so the Patriots defense and their run defense has been very good this postseason. Um, and I would agree with that. I think if they're able to stop the run, for sure goes to the Patriots. And even if both teams are moving the ball effectively and it gets to a high scoring offensive game, which is unlikely, I'd definitely take the Patriots in that situation. A defensive game, less than 20 points, maybe on each side heading into the game late, gives the Broncos more of a chance. But either way, I'm still taking New England to win this one.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
taking New England.
just given the unfortunate, Bo Nix injury. If Bo Nix was playing, it would definitely be more exciting and it would be a lot closer, but I'd still take New England. Um, I still think it's going to be an exciting
Really?
game. Yeah,
You
I
still
would.
take New England next is
I
playing?
I would. I had them. I still picked them. This is the two games that are going on here. I mean, the Bills lost, but um, three of the four teams I picked to be here at this point in time still are. So my Super Bowl pick still stands. So I gotta stick with that, and I can't switch it up, no matter how good the Seahawks look. So let's just transition over there real quick. The other game, NFC Championship game in Seattle, the Rams and the Seahawks. There's a lot of ways we could talk about this. I guess let's just the big question right off the bat. Do you think we're gonna get a repeat of that Thursday night showdown?
I don't know. The first game they played was pretty low scoring. I mean, Darnold had 4 picks, and the second game was, one of the best games I've ever watched.
Yeah.
So, I think it's in Seattle, and the Niners just went there, and our offense was I don't even have words to
We don't
describe
have
what
to
I
talk about
watched.
that one. Let's just not.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm not
just
talking.
yeah. The
So that
Seahawks.
defense is legit, and they're at home with the 12th man. I don't think it's gonna be like the last Thursday night. I think it's gonna be like the first meeting, if anything.
So you think it's gonna be a more low scoring game?
Or low scoring. Not as low as the Patriots game. I think it's still. I mean, the two great offenses still gonna score, but
I mean,
nothing.
a low scoring game for these two teams is like in the 20s. So
Yeah, like
that's like a
24-20.
yeah. So let's and if it were to be that kind of game where it's not a boat race, what team do you think is more favorable in that kind of game?
I think the Seahawks, as much as I hate to say it, I think their defense is just with McDonald. It's just disgusting. Um, and the Rams are really offensive heavy, but their defense is still good. They got a great D line. Their
Yeah,
secondary is not great. So I think if it comes down to a game where you're gonna need one score late, I'd rather go against the LA defense than the Seattle defense for sure.
yeah. But on that note, if you're going down and you're the offense, you need to score late. Would you rather have Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl MVP, or everyone's favorite Sam Darnold? Um, and we've talked a lot of crap about Sam Darnold. Um, I think that's the first time I ever said a swear word on the show, and we're 136 episodes in. Pardon me for the language. Um, I even thought about it too, but I paused before I said that. Anyway, um, if you're on the offensive side, I'd much rather have Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold in a need to win it, go down the field and be clutch situation. With that being said, the last time Sam Darnold was in one of those situations, he delivered and won the game for his team against the Rams. Um, I guess. Do you think it would? Do you think it's going to come to that where a team's going to have the ball late, and if they, it's going to come down to that?
I think so. I think these are the two best teams in the league, most evenly matched. Both offenses are clicking. You know the Rams offense. They got the MVP Stafford, Puka, Devontae Adams. Their 18 tight ends they use, who all seem to be great. Corum and Kyron, that team's great. And then the Seahawks, their offense, it's good. It's good. But it's still Sam Darnold. As I've said before, you know, I watched the Vikings and I watched him on the Vikings when he started last year, and I watched that playoff game against the Rams where the lights are too bright. He was seeing ghosts out there. He took like 9 sacks, fumbled, threw picks. So I still can't fully trust Sam Darnold to go win a big playoff game like this. But I definitely do think this game will come down to the last drive. You got to go down and score, just like the Thursday night game. And their first game actually ended on the final drive too.
It
I think
did.
I think they threw a pick on the final drive.
No, it was that they missed a 61-yard field goal, which you
Missed the
can't
field goal.
you can't blame the kicker for that. That's
Yeah,
like
no,
I
they
couldn't
didn't
do
get close.
that.
61 is insane.
You
61 is
probably make
insane.
that like 5 out of 10 times, and they just got unlucky.
Yeah, if that. Like, you got to get a little closer than that.
Maybe even less than that. I mean, plus he threw 4 interceptions, so you can't blame the kicker. I mean, he had like 5 field goals in that game. So, or he made four. He attempted five. Um, it's a really interesting situation with Sam Darnold, and I don't think it can be overstated how important it is for his performance in this game. And we can't really predict it because we haven't seen Sam Darnold have to do anything since whatever game it was, whatever week it was like 15 or
16 or 15, something like that.
week. I don't know. I can't see. It's not showing up on real.
I think it was
Um,
16.
I think it was
Week 15 or 16,
18,
one of the two.
18, 7. Okay, so it was week 16. We haven't seen Sam Darnold have to do anything since the week 16 Thursday night game against the Rams. And it's crazy because here we are, the day before the NFC Championship game, and the topic we're discussing is Sam Darnold a good quarterback in the clutch? And he's made it to the NFC Championship game, a game away, a win away from going to the Super Bowl, and we have no idea if he can show up when it matters. Um, very Jimmy Garoppolo esque, very, very high Jimmy G vibes. But Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl throwing the ball 8 times in a football game. I don't think it's going to be that easy. The Niners ran all over the Packers in that game, and the Rams D line is definitely, if with the exception of Matthew Stafford and their receiving core, the Rams D line is behind that the best part about their team. That D line is scary across the board. Every single one of those players is worthy of a double team, and you only have 5 linemen, so you can only double team one of them. And I guess the play of Sam Darnold, the performance of Sam Darnold is going to be so crucial to this game. And even if it's not at the beginning, at the end, like you said, it's going to come down to the last drive of the game. And if the ball is in Sam Darnold's hands, I honestly have no idea if he's going to choke or if he's going to rise to the occasion. Um, Track record said he's going to choke, but if you take a look at a recent sample, he might put the ball in the box. Who knows? Um, man, it's a there are a whole bunch of unanswered questions that are going to be answered tomorrow in the NFC Championship game, and I'm fascinated to find out what the answers to those questions are. I guess we can only watch and find out. I'm really excited for it. Um, but the way like if you look at the Rams and the Seahawks, like I mentioned the D line, the strengths of both these teams match up very well with the other team's strengths, and the weaknesses match up with the weaknesses. Like if you take a look at like every part of this team, offense and defense, run and pass, like the Rams' strength is definitely throwing the football, but they're running like the best part about the Rams is throwing the football. And you could argue that the best part of the Seahawks defense, that line is very good, but their secondary is also very, very good. And the Rams are also very effective at running the ball. Most McVay teams are, or all McVay teams are, coming from that Mike Shanahan system. Running the ball is so important. And the Seahawks D line is very intimidating. And you saw what they did to Brock. They were chasing him around like crazy, um, and stopping the run. And on the other side, the Seahawks have gotten here by running the football down our throats, the 49ers. But the Rams D line is probably their best part of their defense, and the secondary is kind of weak. So is the Seahawks passing offense, um, which isn't necessarily fair to say because they have JSN. But you'd rather run the ball 30 times than have Sam Darnold throw it 30 times. Both of these teams match up against each other very well, and it's just going to be a matter of who executes better, I think. So out of the offense, defense, run, pass, out of those four combinations, which one do you think is going to be the most important in this game?
Uh, I would have said Seahawks running the ball, but the Zach Charbonnet injury out for the year, that hurts. That hurts them a lot because they split. They don't leave Walker on the field the whole time, and now Charbonnet's out. It's Walker, and I got no idea who else they're gonna put in. And if they can't run the ball effectively, and they have to start using their third stringers, it's gonna force Darnold to throw the ball. So I think it's gonna be Darnold throwing the ball is gonna be the most important part because he didn't have to do anything last week. He sat there and threw the ball like 15 times and won by 30. So I'd love to see what he's gonna look like when the ball's in his hands and he's gonna need to make a play. I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, I agree with that. And what I was talking about with my boss who's a Rams fan. If you're watching this, what's up, Ollie? Shout out. He's a Rams fan, and he asked me yesterday what I thought the key to the game was, and I recycled a point I used for last week, for the Niners Seahawks game where you got to get ahead because if you're making Sam Darnold throw the football, you have a much better chance of winning. The difference between the Niners and the Rams is our best D linemen are in the hospital and their best D linemen are on the field, you know, making names for themselves. And if they get into that situation where they can get ahead, Sam Darnold, like you said, took a whole bunch of sacks in his first playoff game. It could be a repeat of that. So putting pressure on the quarterback is going to be big. Seattle's O line has been good, very good, especially against us. That's a big matchup, and I think that's, in my opinion, the marquee matchup in this incredible game, or what should be an incredible game, is the trenches, but more specifically, the Rams' baby fearsome foursome, as they've been nicknamed, versus the Seahawks O line and Sam Darnold. It's going to be super exciting tomorrow. Um, as far as live stream stuff, hopefully I'll do both games. We'll see how it goes. Um, we'll come out with more information later. But let's. Are we all good with that? Do you have any more points you want to make? I didn't even get your prediction. Who do you think is going to win the football game?
And if I'm being honest, I hope neither win
I
because I don't
agree.
want to see.
I
I don't want to
like
see either of these teams play in the Super Bowl on our field. It's really heartbreaking,
I
honestly.
like a
But
little Bane, The Dark Knight Rises scenario. Um,
yeah, like it just the stadium blows up. That'd be great.
yeah, I mean that would be tragic, but I mean
That's
for
what I'm hoping happens. But if I had to choose a winner, I would say I would say the Rams because I trust Stafford, McVay more than I trust first time experiencing it Darnold, first time experiencing it Mike McDonald. Um, and that offense, Rams offense is proven they go down when they need to and score. So I trust them to go make a late score late and win the game.
I think if you were to ask somebody this question, if you said, "Hey, you go back in time, you ask our futures or past selves, if you go back to like the beginning of the month, beginning of December rather, hey, NFC Championship game, it's gonna be Rams Seahawks. Who you taking?" We say Rams all day. They're they looked absolutely dominant before they lost to Seattle, and after that, that's kind of when they started stumbling a little bit, not playing super well, turning the ball over a little bit. Um, but with that being said, I'm still taking the Rams um, for biased reasons and unbiased reasons. I mean, I think it would hurt less if they won the NFC Championship game, and I don't know why, but I just don't find them as I don't want to say offensive, but like I don't find them at I don't find them
You hate
as
them less than Seattle.
yeah, I just like them less in Seattle. I don't know what it is. It might be the uniforms just don't look intimidating. Or the fact that when I started watching football, the Seahawks were really dang good and the Rams really weren't. I don't know what it is, but I just have a dispassion for the Seattle Seahawks, and
I agree with
I would
that.
be
I
offended
hate.
less if the Rams were to win.
I'm a fan of whoever's playing Seattle, so
hmm
you'll catch me rooting for the Rams, I guess, tomorrow.
Now, if it was Seahawks Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl, that'd be a different story.
You can't either.
If it were the Rams, Seahawks, Eagles, and Cowboys, I'm probably going Eagles, Rams, Seahawks, Cowboys.
I'm going Rams as a team I hate the least.
Uh,
Cowboys, Eagles, Seahawks. I hate this. I hate the Eagles. I can't deal
I
with
don't.
nothing
I
with
don't
the
know.
Eagles.
I feel like it's kind of cooled off a little bit, but it's for me because I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I don't. I didn't have social media before I got it back to do this. Um, I don't
Just their
know.
fans.
The
Their fans are
fans,
just like
yeah, I have no
annoying
problem
and
with their players. I think a lot of their players
I,
are
I got problem.
kind of cool
I don't
guys.
like Jalen. I don't like Jalen Hurts at all.
Yeah,
He
he's kind of
like
corny.
he'll
Um,
go out there have the worst performance you ever seen, then go out there in his post game conference and spew something like he's Shakespeare. Like, dude, just throw the ball. Just throw the ball right.
just throw the ball up, bro. Um, yeah, I feel like it would hurt less if the Rams were to win, especially if they were to win the Super Bowl. I'd rather have the Rams win the Super Bowl than the Seahawks. Um, but you know, I just feel like the Rams are match up better because if you take a look at if you go on the previous two games, the Rams were the better team for six and a half, maybe 7 quarters before the Seahawks stormed back and took it in overtime. And the Rams even scored first in overtime. I mean, they went down, they scored a touchdown. They did the offense did all they could, and that's why I'm going to take the Rams. I think their offense is better. I think the defense is just a little bit better, but that little bit might be enough to win the football game. So this is another game we've talked about it before, where this is a playoff game that could go 50-50. You flip a coin, and this is really a coin flip. This could go either way. Um, all the factors coming into it is just I don't know. We said all we can say. We just got to get ready to watch it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's NFL. Um, just one more point. We don't have to talk about it, but Mike McCarthy got hired by the Steelers today. Um,
That's in-
yeah,
that's insane.
we agree that that's kind of a clown move.
Horrible.
Yeah, I mean you
If you're
you
gonna get rid of Tomlin, like at least like come on, that Mike
the
McCarthy.
the point that I texted Noah about this. I said, you trade in one defensive old man with no recent playoff success for an offensive old man with no recent playoff success. I mean, what's the difference? At least Tomlin was there for like 16 years in a row and never lost and never had a losing season. Um, it's like all he did was take a step back. You see that meme? Where it's like the
Yeah,
two pictures, and like all he did was take a step back. That was the Steelers did.
the
Um,
same. It was a horror. It was. That's not a good signing.
yeah, that was stupid.
We'll see.
Um, we're gonna have Noah on the show in the upcoming week to talk about hockey and the Olympics, and we're definitely gonna ask him about that because I feel like he's gonna have a lot to say about that. Um, what an idiot move. Speaking of idiot moves, let's talk about college football. I'm not really sure. Why don't you just take it away here? Because I'm not really sure what the deal is.
All right. So yesterday, the college football playoff came out with some new rules. I saw them last night, and I just think one of them is just ridiculous. So here's the first rule, which actually isn't bad at all. It's Power Four conference champions will be guaranteed spots in the 12-team playoff. So you know how Duke won the ACC championship this year,
Uh huh.
and they didn't make the playoff because they were 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
You win your championship game, you're in the playoffs.
Okay.
So something like that. They changed it so Duke could have made it, and then the highest ranked conference champion from the group of six also is guaranteed a spot. So like this year, like Tulane or JMU, one of those teams. But here's the rule that's ridiculous to me: Notre Dame, just Notre Dame, will be a lock for the playoffs if they finish in the top 12, which is insane to me because they didn't make the playoffs 1 year and then cried about it, didn't play a bowl game, and complained for a month, and then the college football committee just changes the whole rules just for them. And if these were the rules, Notre Dame wouldn't have made it over Miami this year, which we watched Miami
Yeah.
go to the national championship and almost beat one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. So I think making a whole different rule for one school because they cried about it is just crazy. And that's another reason why college football is just declining every year. You got players flip flopping teams like nothing. I mean, I just saw a video on a guy, a Cal linebacker, committed to Clemson, was going, was taking classes, and then uh, Ole Miss offered him $1 million, right? And then Clemson got yelled at or called the Ole Miss coach and was like, "You can't do that. You can't do that." And instead of him backtracking, he offered the kid $2 million, and then the kid went and transferred to Ole Miss after he was already at the team practices and lifts and in class, and now he's committed to Ole Miss. It's like it's college football. This used to be you sign on National Signing Day and you're there. That's your school for 3 years. And now players are just flip. They have one good year on a horrible program, and they just flip to a good one. And you get paid 20. Bryce Underwood got paid $20 million to go to Michigan. And I'm pretty sure he transferred. Didn't he?
Who?
Thought he transferred. Underwood.
Is it the quarterback?
Yeah, pretty sure he transferred.
Was he there
Maybe not.
Was he there last
He was,
year?
he was a Michigan freshman quarterback last year who got paid $20 million for out his career to go to Michigan. I don't know if he transferred or not, but like this used to be illegal. They took away Reggie Bush's Heisman because
Yeah.
USC paid him, and now teams are just offering money up. I saw Mark Cuban's offering Mendoza like $25 million to come back next year. It's like how is this allowed? These are college kids. Like these aren't professional leagues. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think college football is just getting worse and worse. They need to factory reset it back to what it used to be. Transfer
There
portal's ruined.
there are definite problems. I never understood the ranking system. Like determining playoff spots based on opinions, like that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And it it's hard though because there isn't a definite way to do that. I mean, there's so many teams that play so many different, so many different matchups. There isn't really an algorithm or a way to determine. There might be, but it would be super complicated. Um, it's
They never really had a good system. They had
no,
the BCS championship, which was a computer picking the two best teams, and then they did the 4-team playoff. Now they have the 12-team playoff, and there's always an issue with it. Like I don't know what they can do, but it's just doesn't work.
like humans are super biased and like definitely fallible, but you can't like ask a computer to do it. That's too scientific. And if you ask AI to do it, like that can be
Yeah,
disastrous. It could be
there's
great,
nothing. It could
but
be, but
but
definitely probably not.
it's too much, chance. I never understood it. I never liked it, to be completely honest. I mean, as a fan of a top school, it definitely favors us. I mean, like we lose a game, we drop 5 spots, and then we win the next 10. Um, so we are, it's I don't really have enough knowledge to talk about it. I just never personally opinionated, like opinion wise, I never understood it slash liked it. Um, it's so confusing. I think
Yeah.
maybe expanding to 16 could work, but like still. Um,
I think the 12 team's perfect. I just they don't select right. Like, they go off opinions and it's like bias. Like I don't think Bama should have made it this year, and
yeah.
they put them in as Bama. I mean, they were more deserving teams, but they're not going to. If it's Alabama has the same record as like a BYU, for example, who do you think they're going to put in? They're
Yeah.
going to put in Bama.
Yeah.
So if they're going to have this 12-team playoff, you got to choose like the actual rational right teams. You can't just go, oh, this is Alabama, and we're going to get the most money if we put Alabama in.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
I
So
feel like
got to figure
competent
a way out.
people could make it work, but I don't. That also brings to the question: are the people who are making the decisions, are they really competent at all? Are they like some of the
No.
decisions they make are just absolute like buffoonery and get slandered by all people. I mean, you see them on First Take. They're not the, all due respect, some of these people who are talking about aren't the brightest bulbs, but even they understand. Like, what? This is crazy. Um, yeah, it's a mess. I think let's just play football. That's why I like the NFL more. Um,
It sucks because college really is great. It has everything to be great. Those college stadiums get pumped up. It's college kids. You're gonna watch mistakes. You're gonna watch big plays. It's great to watch, but they've just been ruining it every year. It's turning into like the NFL without being the NFL. It's like they got
yeah.
free agency, and even the NFL is not this bad. Like the grown men in their on their actual contracts aren't even moving as much as these college kids are. It's
Mm.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah, there are definite problems. I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll take a look at it. It's it's confusing. It's weird. Speaking of confusing and weird, the Golden State Warriors are a basketball team, and they are dealing with so many problems. They were already dealing with problems, and then everything was going well. You're like, okay, everything's going all right. We righted the ship. We're playing team basketball. Even Pods isn't playing like an absolute, you know, Pods looks like he has picked up a basketball before, and Pods was shooting the lights out of the stadium. He was playing great. He still is, of course, but then Jimmy went down, and then J.K. went down, which you could argue is, one of the just so many problems arise from just one player going down, adding on to the problems that were already there. This is this is dangerous waters here because we could easily go off the deep end. But the way I described it yesterday, and if you watched the episode, which I'm sure none of you did, you'll know that the three options, in my opinion, and three main options would be sell everything, do nothing, or buy and go all in. And all three options have more cons than pros, but something is going to have to be done. Ashton, what do you think the best course of action is for the Golden State Warriors?
All right, if I transported into Mike Dunleavy's body and they gave me the chance to run this team, I'd sell because they're gonna if they go trade for Michael Porter or whoever they're gonna trade for, they're gonna give up first round picks, and you don't win a championship, Curry's only getting older, everyone's Dre's getting older, and what do you got? You got no future. And right now, I like some of our young guys. I like Moody. I like Pod. No, I don't like Pod. Sorry, I don't like Pods. That dude's horrible. Pods is decent. They got Post. They got guys, but none of these guys are superstar level. Oh, he's gonna be holding our team down when Curry's gone. So, if you go all in and you don't win it, then you're done for the next 10, 15 years. So if I was the Warriors, I'd sell Jimmy, I'd sell Draymond, I'd sell Kuminga, I'd sell anyone who has value. I don't know about Curry though. I don't know if you could sell Curry. I feel like that's a guy who has to stay here his whole career, even if we're not doing anything. Unless he wants to end his career winning a championship, and you can get like a first, two firsts out of him, maybe. But I also feel like Curry's got to stay. But for the answer, I would definitely sell this roster because I don't think they're going to do anything.
It's it's very challenging to figure this out because, like you said, you want to keep Curry at all costs, and obviously you want to win. The smart, rational thing to do would be to trade Steph Curry because the return you'd get for Steph Curry would be insane. I mean, if the Nets got 5 firsts for Bridges, then on that standard we should get 15 first round picks for Steph Curry. Um, but the the human part, the nostalgia part, you want to keep Steph, you want to keep Draymond because they've just been so massively important to the Warriors and just the Bay Area in general, as players and as people. Um, it's a very tough decision, because it would make it a lot easier if there was somebody waiting in the wings ready to take over, but there isn't. And the future beyond the Steph Curry remaining years is very bleak because we have young players that have potential to be good, but their ceiling isn't higher than just being a role player. Maybe you could be um, a solid starter in this league, but nobody is really the next Steph Curry, which is there's never going to be another Steph Curry. But at least for the sake of he is the star of the team, we don't have a next face of the franchise star of the team. Um, I it's really tough. I feel like you don't want to do nothing because you're not getting better and you're not getting better at the present, you're not getting better at the future, but if you do nothing it's probably the worst option, even though it is the safest, I guess. um Gosh, it's so difficult to figure it out.
They're in a horrible place. Horrible. It's
And
the worst place.
even if Jimmy didn't get injured, our odds of winning a championship weren't very high. Granted, we were playing very good basketball, and you could argue that we would have had a great chance to win it last year if Steph didn't go down. And I firmly believe we would have at least made the finals. Well, that's a little bit much. I mean, the Thunder
I don't know
exists.
if we're gonna beat the Thunder, but I think
Yeah,
we're gonna beat the Wolves for
I
sure.
immediately backtrack that. Um, would have beat the Wolves if Steph was healthy. We were so hot, and the Thunder were just the best team in basketball. Um, I really don't know. It's one of those decisions, like one of those like ethical dilemmas that we learned about in ethnic studies in freshman year. Like, do you like like the Joker in the Dark? This is the second Dark Knight reference of the episode. With like the two boats and stuff. It's like you either blow up the other boat or you could do nothing, or you know, it's like it in the grand scheme of things. This means like nothing. Well, that's not true. It means something, but it's not like a matter of huge importance in the world right now. But just from a sports like perspective, like from our perspective, this is like the same gravity of an ethical dilemma. It's really hard to decide what's the best course of action. I'm not really ready to make my statement yet. I mean, I don't know if I ever. I'm still thinking about it. It's one of those things where you can go back and forth, back and forth. I
I mean,
mean,
yeah. Even though I said sell, but I could totally see us buying. I mean, if you Curry's playing well and he had 40 last
yeah,
game. Like if Curry's playing well enough to win, and you want to go all out, get him one more, I'm not opposed to it. But I don't think trading for one guy is gonna change the whole. Like our team isn't good. It's not good. I love this team. I watch every game since like 2013, but the team's just not good right now. It's
it's
uncharted
good, but it's
territories
not
for
good
us.
enough.
I don't know if it's good. I don't even know if I could say it's a good
We
team.
can we
I
can
mean,
at the
it can
current
compete. It can
yeah
compete. They can
the
compete.
the
They can't. I don't
current
know if they can win anything right now.
the current roster as is, the realistic expectation or like the ending point would be hosting a play-in game. That seems like the right fit, the right expectation for this group of guys right now. These 15 would be hosting the play-in game, whether it be as the 7 or the 8, we don't know. But definitely hosting a play-in game. But I can't even remember the last team, if there ever has been a team that hosted a play-in game, went to the finals. Didn't the Heat do it
He did it, yeah.
when they were the 8th seed?
Warriors could
I
have
mean,
done it
Jimmy Butler's
last
on
year.
that team. Nice to have Jimmy Butler right now. Um,
Yeah. Well,
it's I agree. I think trading for just one guy wouldn't be enough unless that one guy was from Greece.
Giannis.
Um, Giannis Antetokounmpo, but that's unrealistic. I don't know if he would want that. I don't know if the Bucks would want that. Um, but if he says he wants to be traded, I mean, you're not gonna say no. I mean, that would be incredible. That is super unrealistic. Um, this is so tough. So I mean, we'll just whatever happens. It's like unless it's an absolute bonehead move, you kind of say, well, they were in a really tough spot and they decided this is the best course of action, and we just gotta trust them. Because even though the current regime hasn't necessarily made the smartest decisions in the past, they have done some good things. They've drafted semi well. They got Jimmy Butler here. Um,
I don't know about drafted well.
I mean, they didn't like draft the best guys, but they haven't really missed on any picks. I mean, unless you think,
Wiseman,
oh well, I forgot about Wiseman.
Moody,
We could
Kaminga,
really use
Pods.
a 7-foot center who can take over games right now. I wonder where we could have gotten that. We should have traded that pick. We didn't need Wiseman.
Should have just traded Pods for Laurie when they had the chance. They
Yeah,
said
for
Pods was
sure.
untouchable. I still never forgive him for that. That's insane.
And
Insane.
the thing is, like,
Laurie is huge right now.
you for the Warriors front office, like you have to do something, and I'm sure they're working around the clock to try and do something. But the thing with Kaminga, he demanded the trade like a week ago, like 9 days ago. He hasn't been traded, which means that either they're got caught up on a few like tiny details, or they have nobody to trade him to. It would have
They
happened
said he has
already.
no demand. They said to demand a trade, there has to be demand, and he has no demand. That no one wants him, which I don't blame him.
I mean, teams want him, but we're not going to get enough back to trade Jonathan Kaminga. Um, it makes it even worse that he got hurt in the last game because he was actually playing very well. In the game against the Raptors and the Mavericks game until he got hurt, he was balling out. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Um,
Let's
there
see.
is no good option. So I'm really sad and depressed because we had to talk about this. Um, I don't know.
Unfortunate. I got one thing to say.
Yeah,
I miss Jordan Poole.
yeah, I do too.
Jordan Poole. That was the guy. That was the guy. Till Draymond
We could
socked
use
him
a
in the
we could
face.
use a Jordan Poole right now.
That was I
We could
I,
probably
I just
we
saw
could probably
I
trade for
saw an
Jordan
Instagram
Poole
post. I saw an Instagram post. It recapped the trade. We traded Jordan Poole,
for 1 year, Chris Paul.
first, a second, and I think Patrick Baldwin Jr. just for Chris Paul. For 1 year of Chris Paul,
Should
who
have been the
came
other way
off
around.
the
We should
bench.
have gotten some picks.
Like, why are we giving picks up for 40-year-old Chris Paul?
Yeah, that wasn't
Like,
smart. I didn't like that.
I know you had to trade him because the
And
chemistry
Paul
was
was
all
hurt.
off.
He only played half the games.
Like, you couldn't have got anyone better than Chris Paul. Like, that was the worst decision they ever made. Should have traded Draymond, honestly. Instead of Poole. Poole was the guy. That was our guy. But unfortunate, don't got him.
We're in a very, very difficult spot.
Very bad.
I remember like a year ago, Grant asked, shout out Grant, number one fan of the show. There's no way you're still here at this point, but we'll see. He asked me, out of all the Bay Area teams, which one has the brightest future? And I ranked it for him. I said Sharks, Niners, Giants, Warriors. He was like, wow, the Warriors are that low? And I'm like, yeah, the Warriors are
Like,
behind the Giants.
they really have no future talent. It's actually like it's sad. When Curry retires, I have no clue what's about to happen with this
It's
roster.
it's going to be very dark times. I mean, I don't think there's no chance that we just continue that we go into another rebuilding or not. There's no chance that we continue to contend the year after Curry retires or leaves or whatever. We can. It might be. Hopefully, it'll be soon. There's no way that we figure it out the next year.
When
There's
Curry's
definitely
gone, they
going to
got to
be
go
dark
full
times.
rebuild, full rebuild. I don't know. It
The
might take.
Warriors, the thing that like really we won a championship and then tried to rebuild on the like while contending at the same time. That doesn't work.
No, doesn't work at
Yeah,
all.
I let's get off this topic. This is depressing. Is there anything else you wanna talk about? We're 50 minutes in here.
I think we're good. Covered the horrible Warriors and everything else.
Let's all right. Let's go over the national TV schedule. The Knicks and the Sixers just wrapped up. Um,
That
the
game was
Knicks won.
crazy.
The Knicks won by 3 points.
Embiid had 30 in the first half. I don't know what he
He
ended with,
finished with
but
38.
that was
Oh, this
he
was
had
an
8 points.
entertaining game. Went down to the wire. We didn't see it though. We
That's
were
crazy.
recording. But four other games. We got the Lakers and the Mavs at 5:30. At least we aren't the Mavericks, right? I mean, phew. I
At
mean,
least I got
still
Cooper
they have
Flag.
flag. So
At least I got Flag.
yeah, that's. Could you imagine if they didn't have flag? Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
if they didn't get the first pick, I don't know what that
they
team
got
would look
bailed
like
so
right
hard.
I think it's rigged. I think they traded Luca
Yeah, that
to
had to
LA.
be. There's no
And
way.
Silver's like, yeah, you're gonna get the first pick. Listen, they had a less than 1% chance, and they got it.
Because it's yeah. There's because if you think about it, like for the Mavericks, like we don't have Luca anymore, but we do have Flag, so I guess it worked out for us in the end. Like we didn't obviously you'd rather have Luca, but I guess it's not the worst thing that it happened. But those two events are completely unrelated. They lucked into having Flag. So could you imagine if they didn't get the number one pick? Oh my
They'd, they'd
gosh.
be they'd be done. They'd be
They
horrible.
the city would be up in flames. I mean, at least the stars are good. Um Stars are very good. Is there anything else that happened? There's no nationally televised hockey games, just the one basketball later today. Um, I guess
Oh,
for
speaking of the words, I forgot to say it. They I saw rumors that they're interested in Andrew Wiggins back.
I
I mean,
mean
I wouldn't hate it, but I mean, what
I
are
mean
they
as long as
doing?
it's not too much. I mean just anybody at this point. I mean we really the what are the chances of us getting a second option to replace Jimmy? I don't that can't be too high unless it's like Markkinen or somebody. It would you just need to find a guy who fits in with the team, and you need to find like a rotation where when Steph's not on the floor, you just stay in the game. I mean, Wiggins that's probably the best. If you're looking for a guy who fits in with the team, why don't you get a guy who won the championship with the team? Um,
I don't hate Wiggins. I don't hate Porter, but
is
I
Porter
think they
still
need
in
a
the? Oh,
big.
Michael. I was gonna say Otto Porter. Is he still in the league? No,
I
but
think
you're
he
talking
retired. I
about
love that
Michael
dude, but he was
Porter.
so great. He was so good during the playoff run.
Yeah, he was automatic Chamberlain.
I don't hate Wiggins. I don't hate Porter. They can get either one. I think maybe that's a second scorer. Put him in on the bench when Curry's on the bench. So
It's a very odd situation. Um, there is one thing that happened. The I just want to end on a positive note here, on a heartwarming note, if you will. J Ram signed an extension. I don't know if you saw this, and I was
and
shocked to see the actual number because if I mean, Kyle Tucker got 60 a year, and he is one of the best players in baseball, one of the best hitters in baseball. In my opinion, Jose Ramirez is the third best offensive player in third best position player in baseball. I'm taking Judge and Otani are interchangeable at the top, and then I'm taking J Ram. Do you? And if not, he's definitely up there.
he's up there.
Just in
J
terms
Ram's
of
great.
pure position player,
Switch hitter, switch hitter, great defense, great hitting.
he's just an all around great player. Um, by that standard, his market value should be like 65, $66 million. And he signed an extension, a 7 year extension for $175 million. That's $25 million a year.
Wow.
I don't know what the like comparison is. The one that pops into my head is Jonathan Kuminga is making 22 million. I know it's different sports, but I don't really know what the. I can't think of like a comparison off the top of my head. Like Giants
Ayu-
wise, I
Ayu-
know,
Ayuk's making $30 million a
I
year.
know,
Different
I
sport.
think Rafi's making like 20. I think
Rafi's
Rafi's making 25,
25.
but
Yeah, Rafi's 25.
that's still the both those guys are underpaid. Um, Rafi and J Ram. But
Just the Dodgers giving out money. Honestly, that's it. They're just ruining it all.
Jose Ramirez should be making $65 million a year, and here he is taking a $40 million a year pay cut just so his team can sign some more players. And he's even spoken about this. Like he did that on his last extension. He was signed through 2028, and they just gave him a 7 year extension because he's the freaking man. Um, that's just a little positive note to end on. Um, wow, that's holy underpay. He's one of the best players in
That's
baseball.
crazy. 25 million.
That's
Crazy.
crazy, man. All right, well, that's gonna do it for today. We had the when we talked about NFL, it was like, wow, it was great. But then at the end, it's like the Warriors just got us both, both depressed. But other than that, it was a pretty good episode today. Ashton, thank you for coming on, and
Thank you for having me, bro.
thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.